There's a story. Hold on. Just after this.
So weird.
I'll explain.
It's a brainstorm. Time to think of some ideas. This is a brainstorm. It's a brainstorm. Everybody know the drill.
Everybody knows the drill.
Everybody know the drill. Well, maybe it's a brainstorm. It's a brainstorm. Better bring your best ideas.
All right, so that is Brainstorm is the name of that, and there's like a small segment that is actually safe to play. That's the part that I played. And my big dream during end of the year review, like we were going to get together in groups, we were going to come up with like brainstorming ideas about things we need to review, how we can do it, and I was going to take your ideas. I was going to play that right when we started, and it was just going to be so cool. So cool. Like that was awesome. That's the greatest thing you've heard all week probably. And that was with poor audio, not in a classroom. Imagine in the classroom, you're in there, I'm in there talking, all of a sudden you see me hit play. Man, you would have been ready to not just brainstorm, brain tornado, brain hurricane, category 4. Yeah, category 4 brainstorm. Better watch out. So maybe next year with that. Anyway, what's up, everybody? It is A Push on a Friday. All right, I didn't have a jersey to wear, so what I have is the Final Four shirt from last year. I'm wearing that. All right, I'll have a new jersey ready to go next week. So, Jersey Friday delayed, but there was a brainstorm song, and that was pretty cool, right? No, a little. Okay. So anyway, hope you're all doing well in what has been a fairly blah week. Won't lie. As far as like just some announcements and things like that with school. All right. Make sure I wrote I wrote a small novel in the updates yesterday. It was a small novel. It was like a 3x5 essay. It was long, but it's from the heart, and it's just kind of where I'm at with the rest of this year. All right, so kind of what we're looking at. So make sure you pay attention to that. The last paragraph, especially the last paragraph, because it is going to be a situation where I think that's like those random acts of kindness and doing things for the betterment of people around you. That helps us like stay centered as well, and hopefully you get a chance to do that. Tell somebody you know that you appreciate them, and things like that, or just do something nice. So that last paragraph, I think, make sure you pay attention to that. So make sure you check out my update from yesterday. All right. So today, what we're going to be looking at, nothing is due. Like I said in the update, nothing's due till Monday at the end of class. That period 5. I'm going to go over part of period 4 review today in class. I guess this is it. And then Monday, I'm going to have some examples of good contextualization and thesis. I've tried to write like feedback on all of them just so you have an idea of where I'm coming from, but it helps to see like good examples too. So I'm going to use some pretty high level examples, or what I feel like are high level examples on the video Monday. All right, so you have that to look forward to. Period 5 review Monday. All right, you all turned in period 4 review, or most of you did, and it looks a little something like this. And I'm going to go through the first part of this and today, and we'll finish it up on Monday. Or I may do a special weekend YouTube video. Probably not. All right, so there's that epic image we looked at from Manifest Destiny. I said it is the classic Manifest Destiny image made in 1872 about westward progression. All right, you see so-called civilization behind her, the light behind her, technology going towards the darkness. And we talked about like what was representing the darkness, how that could be kind of construed today through today's lenses, and things like that. So that is a very prominent image from that time period. All right. So reasons for westward expansion: natural population growth. People, as they grew healthier, lived longer. Families grew larger. Populations grew, and there's a need to move west. All right. First of all, so like overcrowding. When you overexpand, when you're overcrowded, when you expand. That's what we did. Immigration, especially this is the old immigration, Western Europe. All right, so you've got the Irish, the Germans, and the English. All right, so they're moving in. The Irish, where did they settle? That's right. You answered it before I could even say it. They settled in the cities. Very good. All right. Germans came inland. You know the impact they had. I mean, just drive around Cincinnati. All right, you can see the impact the Germans had on this area, and then English, of course, as well. Transportation improvements. All right, you've got now this period four goes to like 1848, I think it was 1844. But anyway, no, 1848. Um, anyway, this is a little bit before the railroads grew. Like 1850s, 1860s, 1870s is when the railroads really expanded, especially with the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869. But so they were around in this time, but they weren't as influential. Okay, so like when we're talking about transportation improvements in early American history, it's going to be like national, like turnpikes. All right, better roads. It's going to be steamboats, so they can go against the current up the river and down the river. It's a little bit easier to do that. Canals like the Erie Canal, correct, connecting the Midwest with the Great Lakes to New York City. So things like that is what we're talking about with transportation improvements. Okay, cotton production increases and slavery expands west. 1790s, Eli Whitney invents the cotton gin, and it becomes super profitable. Super profitable. All right, threats removed from the continent. The French, the British, the Spanish, all are kind of phased out. And it becomes an American continent. All right, Native American battles, the Battle of Tippecanoe. William Henry Harrison wins that, pushes the Native American tribes mainly that were around there east of the Mississippi, pushes them west. All right, the first Seminole War in Florida. Andrew Jackson fought the Seminoles. That ends up with our basic acquiring of Florida when he sends troops into Florida. The Spanish say, "Hey, this is our land. Can you leave?" And he's like, "No, I'm going to stay right here." And then the Adams-Onis Treaty takes place. Indian Removal Act, which was Jackson again saying all those Native Americans that were still in Georgia and those areas, prime farmland, to be quite honest, they have to move west of the Mississippi. They're sued. Worcester versus Georgia. The Supreme Court rules in favor of the Native American, the Cherokee tribes. And Jackson says, that's cool. Chief Justice Marshall has rendered his decision. Let him enforce it. And of course, he couldn't. And the Trail of Tears commenced later in that decade, one of our great injustices of our history. All right. So, reasons for westward expansion, impact of westward expansion, negative impact on Native American groups for sure. All right. You can zoom in on this map. It just kind of tells you the ways in which we gained our land. All right. And this is all in the Jocks video stuff too. All right. 1803, obviously, Louisiana Purchase doubled our size. 1801, 1806, the war with Tripoli. All right. And that's in the Marine Corps anthem, like from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We will fight our country's battles wherever they may be. All right. So you got that going on. It's Northern Africa. And instead of like paying these Barbary pirates a tribute in order to trade, we just said, no, we're not going to do it. We invaded. Uh, the Marines landed, and it came out to be a favorable result for the United States there. It was our first overseas action as well. Preserved American neutrality. War of 1812 kind of helped do that in a way. All right. During all the Napoleonic Wars, we stayed neutral. 1807, forget what I said about the War of 1812. 1807, the Embargo Act preserved American neutrality. All right, you saw that with that "Oh Grab Me" turtle. It did kill American trade, but it also fostered a growth of an internal economy with the textile mills of the North being fed by the raw materials, the cotton of the South. 1818, joint occupation of Oregon and U.S. Louisiana Territory, north limit of 49th parallel. Shared Newfoundland fishing. That's our agreement we made with. Sorry, I leaned forward there. Agreement we made with Great Britain. All right, Adams-Onis Treaty, the Florida Purchase Treaty, 1823, Monroe Doctrine, to get off our lawn or stay off our lawn. Europe, all right, no more colonization in the Western Hemisphere. This year's our territory. So that is the stay off our lawn of American history. All right. 1836, Texas Rebellion. All right, they break away from Mexico. And then you have the debate, free state, slave state. All right. Do we want to add another state and upset the balance of power with the slave and free states in the Senate, the Electoral College, all those things? So it takes a few years before Texas is admitted to the Union. James Polk, the Manifest Destiny president, the Mexican American War in 1844 ends up, or well, hold up, 1844, Texas enters the Union. All right, Polk is elected as president. He's our Manifest Destiny president. Oregon 5440 or fight with Great Britain, and it leads to the Webster-Ashburton Treaty. And with the Webster-Ashburton Treaty, Oregon is decided to be part of the United States. Not quite at the 5440 or fight. All right, I said 5440 or fight. Great Britain came back with a counter offer. Easy for me to say. A counter offer and said, we said deal. 5440 or fight. We'll give you this. 5440 or fight. We'll give you this, Great Britain says. And we said, fine, we'll take it. All right, and so Oregon was a part of the United States without going to war. 1846 to 1848, boom, there's the Mexican-American War. Ends with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo and leads towards that Gadsden Purchase, which if you remember, we watched that Jimmy Fallon skit on YouTube with that. All right, so that filled in the rest of the blanks, basically, of the continent. Last thing, I want to go over cultural nationalism, patriotic themes in art. If you look at a lot of American art early on, it's either going to be landscapes with the Hudson River School, showcasing the beauty of the American landscape. It's going to be patriotic themes, scenes from the Revolution, from the Founding Fathers, things like that. There's economic nationalism, The American System by Henry Clay, which you can remember all three parts of it just by remembering the BIT. All right, BIT, Bank of United States. All right, got me? Bank of United States, that's the B in BIT. All right, internal improvements like shoring up roads, building canals, things like that. That's the I, internal improvements. And T, tariffs. All right, protective tariffs for American industry. So that is the American system that would Henry Clay wanted to develop to form a very powerful, more settled American economy. All right. Political nationalism, era of good feelings. There's only one political party, the Democratic Republican Party. The party does adopt some Federalist ideas. There's going to be some disputes during this period, especially with the Missouri Compromise. The first time the slavery issue comes up with the admission of Missouri into the Union, they are able to kick the can down the road on the slavery issue by bringing Missouri in, outlawing slavery in the Louisiana Purchase territory above the southern border of Missouri. All right, so if you were north of the southern border of Missouri, slavery was outlawed. And then you had the state of Maine breaking away from Massachusetts, becoming a free state. So that kept the delicate balance between free and slave states. So the Missouri Compromise is an example of disputes that arose during the so-called era of good feelings. All right. So we'll go over the rest of this Monday. All right. The rest of this on Monday, we will talk about some really good examples of context and thesis statements, because those are 2 points you have to get on the DBQ. You have to get those 2 points. All right. So we're going to look at some exemplar examples. That was really redundant, it felt like to say. But we're going to look at that. We're going to talk through those. We're going to finish up this period 4 packet, and we're going to talk about like some Google Hangout or Google Meetings for next week as well. We're going to try one on Tuesday. I'm either going to do it like, hey, here's the time everybody can come in, or like do like signups of like groups of 8 or something. I haven't decided yet. All right. And we may not even have 8 people total show up. So I don't know how that's going to look. So we'll talk about that stuff on Monday too. All right. So Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. All right. Enjoy yourself. Hopefully, you find some time to get away from everything. Come back Monday, ready to go. All right. Make sure you check out that Schoology update from yesterday, especially that last paragraph. I feel like that stuff's important. And if there's anything you need at all, I'm here. I'm here to help. Let me know. All right. Other than that, that's all I have. So now it's time for the traditional awkward ending to this whole video. And here we go. That's not it. Stop sharing. See you later.